Hello everyone and welcome to our special recap of the CrossFire West League. My name is Naokai and today I'm going to be joined by Pando and Trav, my fellow commentators alongside me to bring you all the coverage of Season 1 and 2.
Hey everyone, we're excited to bring an in-depth look at the highlights, to the standout players and the most thrilling moments from both seasons.
That's right, we have a lot to cover, including interviews and some of the MVPs and leaders from the winning teams, so let's get right into it.
Let's start with Season 1. It was an incredible season, fierce competition. Here are some of the participating teams. We had 3BL Esports, which of course you guys should know by now, Unknight, LCK, Encore, Lazarus, Anubis Gaming, 36 Demons, and a TBI Esports.
Throughout the group stage, each team fought very hard to secure their place at the playoffs. Teams that made it were Encore, LCK, Unknights, and of course 3BL Esports.
Let's highlight some key matches that were critical to each team's journey.
We'll start things off with Encore. They ended up finishing 3rd overall in the entire group, which is pretty damn good considering how strong 3BL and LCK were, and they were just ahead of Unknights in 4th and Lazarus in 5th. And when we look back at some of those highlights from the group stages, there's a couple of key moments, especially one against TBI where they were able to pick up a very important 2-0 to push them up the rankings. Coming in at 2nd place in the regular season was none other than LCK, the team primarily from Turkey who put up dominant performances all the way through, and a couple of standout moments from individuals like Flex, like Swoxy on those snipers, and of course that one particular game against 36 Demons where they really put them into the ground. 10-0, one of the only 10-0s we saw throughout both seasons all year. LCK were able to take it on that second map, which is pretty insane. The battle for 4th place was a hotly contested one, primarily between Unknights and Lazarus, which came down to 4 points and right down to the tail end. These two guys on your screen had incredible seasons, but it was just Unknights who pipped them to the post of a draw at the tail end towards Lazarus and 3BL, which gave them that playoff spot. Standout performances had to come through from Alucard, who looked incredible on the AWM, and Jin, who had a couple of highlight moments like this 4K. And we saved the absolute best for last from Season 1, as it was 3BL Esports who ended up finishing the regular season flawless. They did not pick up a single loss all the way through. They were just that good. Standout performances have to come through from Slayer, who had the joint most MVPs with 4 across the regular season, and Snare just in behind with 3 of his own too. These two guys stood out. Their highlights were absolutely incredible, and no team could beat them in a match. That just shows how good they were.
Let's take another look at the playoffs and how it all went down. The epic showdown between Encore and Unknights, that one went down to the wire.
Yeah, and arguably an upset here as well, is Unknights took down Encore despite having a little bit of a slower season. Encore looking pretty good all the way through. Unknights picked up an upset victory to move forward to the semi-finals.
Of course, there was Unknights' crucial victory over LCK that secured their playoff final spot too.
Yeah, and another massive upset coming through from Unknights. Despite having a little bit of a timid regular season, they came in towards the semi-final, went a map down, and reversed sweep, taking Compound and Port back-to-back to move forward to the finals.
The intense final battle between 3BL and Unknights was a turning point for both teams as well.
Yeah, and a massive best of 5 that went all 5 maps right down to that 5th and final of Port. But in the end, it was just 3BL able to take it out, winning out the series 3-2, and of course being our Season 1 champions with MVP performances coming through from Snake.
From him, they know exactly where he is, but he catches Alucard as well. Surely not the ace, the one-on-one opportunity to win it all for Dotson. Beck just definitely going to dance this one around and try and run down the clock, but the backstab, Dotson! You've got to be kidding! Ace clutch for the win here, gets it done for 3BL.
As for our playoff MVPs for Season 1, HZ's outstanding performance earned him the MVP honors and led Unknights to a strong second finish in the Season 1 Championship, highlighting their resilience and skill throughout the tournament. And finally, 3BL clinched the Season 1 Championship fueled by Snake's performance in the key playoff scenes.
Hang on a second, they're going for a full rotate. Bomb. It's going over towards the other side, and they're going to be caught off guard. Snake going to get the freest kill and a confusing one for him. Let's take a look at the CrossFire point standings for Season 1. At the top, shouldn't really be a surprise to many people off the back of the regular season, but it's 3BL who had consistently great performances all the way throughout and didn't even pick up a single loss in the regular season.
Absolutely, and right behind them we can see Unknights, who put up an impressive fight, led by their star player HZZ, earning the MVP title.
Encore and LCK had a strong showing, securing their spots in the playoffs with some crucial victories. Their journey to the top has been nothing short of thrilling, and we've loved watching every step of the way.
It's fascinating to see how the points have accumulated over the season, of course, reflecting the intensity and competitiveness between all the teams. Every round, every match, and every point counted.
Indeed, and this sets the stage perfectly for the CFSSC 2024. Teams have proven their mettle, and now it's time to see who can rise to the occasion and the grand stage.
Moving on to Season 2, the competition was even more intense. We had some changes, some new additions, and here are the participating teams. We had 3BL, of course, Unknights, LCK, GV Esports, previously known as Encore, Lazarus, TBI, Anubis, and Swamp Gaming, all the way from North America.
GV Esports, formerly known as Encore, and the newly joined team Swamp Gaming added a new dynamic to the league. Teams that made it to the playoffs were GV Esports, Unknights, 3BL, and of course LCK.
Let's highlight some key matches that were important for each team's journey to the playoffs.
The first team we'll talk about in that regular season, of course, is GV Esports, finishing 4th place overall, even though they were tied points with Anubis Gaming, but they won out on that head-to-head, and we have some pretty sick highlights coming through. There were some key individuals, I think, for me on this side who really made a difference for GV. In particular, Faisal did a lot on the AWM, a very, very talented individual who, when was called upon, was able to put up some pretty nice clips. Coming in 3rd place, finishing just 1 point ahead of GV Esports, was Unknight. And they had a really decent regular season as well. They had the new addition coming in towards this side of Kiko, who looked very, very solid, but that rifling core did a lot of the heavy lifting. BEQ, Beck looked incredible all the way through. Alucard, still sublime as ever, and Unknights, as always, a very difficult team to break down, hunting for another finals spot as they did in Season 1. Our team that ended up finishing in 2nd place with back-to-back unbeaten regular seasons was 3BL. Not quite first as it was into Season 1, but still an impressive feat nonetheless. This game against Anubis was, in particular, a little bit of a banger. Bit of a derby from the region as well, but 3BL seemed to always be the side in charge, as you can see with these highlights. The spray down, immaculate, what a clip, and what a season again from 3BL, still dominant as ever. And last but certainly not least, our first place team off the back of the regular season was LCK. They were able to beat out 3BL towards that top spot, but they weren't able to beat 3BL in the head-to-head. We have a little highlight from their match against Swamp Gaming where they absolutely dominated them, 10-5, 10-1, and a knife kill as well, just to show how confident LCK looked throughout this season. They were great all the way through in a team that nobody could seem to find a gap in. Let's take another look at the playoffs and how it all went down. The first playoff match saw Unknights going head-to-head with GV Esports, and it was a thrilling encounter with Unknights pulling off some absolutely incredible plays.
For HZZ, and he's done just that and then some. Double kill.
Seven has got some utility to try and work with here. He's been trying to hop his way in. It's a lovely shot on HZZ. It's now down to Alucard. You'd always want to rely on him in a clutch. There are 3 players in this position. Beck's going to get the plot down in the meantime, but they should just be able to swarm. Creeds finds his kill, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough until Awesome steps up. In the second playoff match, 3BL faced Unknights, and that was certainly a match to go down in history. I believe it went to a 3rd map golden round. Incredible scenes, and 3BL only just managed to sneak it over the line. Listening for everything, sees that his teammate has already delivered, and then he chooses to pounce, and a perfect timing! Goodness gracious. Truly unbelievable, and that obviously put them into the grand final, and the playoff finals was honestly just as incredible. LCK versus 3BL. 3BL were 2 maps up, and in map 4 they had a 9-6 lead and a 12-9 lead, and LCK still found a way to win the whole thing. It was a generational choke, I'd say, but LCK came out absolutely delighted.
Aggressively, it will not work. Dezane lines up 3.
What?
They didn't even make it to the grand final. And now they get their chance against 3BL. And that is looking very good indeed. Finally, it's locked in, and it's LCK that will take out the CFWL 2024 Season 2.
As for our playoffs MVPs for Season 2, their exceptional performance were key in their team's success. Kiku and Alucard from Unnights.
Numbers still favourable for 3BL, and the trades are as well for the moment until Kiko strikes. He's got a double and a triple onto Snake. Unnights are not going down without a fight. Kiko gets 4.
Alucard's still playing with these angles. Bet gets his 1, but unfortunately it's only 1 in that Alucard, so it's very stuck. 1, Colt up for the second, and there's an opportunity. He's just wasting the clock. He's tagged down Slayer even lower.
Snare Horus and Totson from 3BL Esports.
So he's suggesting we're at that point yet for L, but it might actually continue to go by the wayside, right? This could be very quickly 3-0. X is there ready and waiting for them. Snare will get the trade. Now here comes the swing from the rest of the LCK members, but
LCK open to get the kill, and in the end he gets double peaked. Flex will take the frag. Snare, nice shot. 2 versus 2, has to try and catch them on the cross, and he's doing
Design, Flex and Lion Claw from LCK.
unreal. Flex under pressure. There are 3 players they're about to spot though, and it's an absolute wipeout. LCK close eye on by Flex. Snare will hop up. Great reaction as soon as he goes up, and Dezane is flanking. There's Lion Claw as well.
not really anything to get too excited about, so they're going to go back to basics and try to play aggressively. It will not work. Dezane lines up 3.
Taking a look at the Crossfire points for the end of Season 2, we have LCK leading the pack with a remarkable 150 points, demonstrating just how dominant their season was.
Right behind them, 3BL Esports with 125 points. Their playoff MVPs Snare, Horus and Totson were instrumental in securing their position.
In third place, we see Unnights with 110 points, and Kiko and Alucard, especially Alucard, who over the regular season had this incredible ace that I will always remember. Their playoff MVPs showcased incredible performances that boosted their standings.
Hello.
Third as well, there's 4! Go on, get all 5, why not? Do it, do it!
GV and Anubis Gaming round out the top 5 with 95 and 80 points, respectively. These teams have shown great resilience and skill throughout the season.
Lazarus, TBI and Swamp Gaming, although further down the standings, have had their moments of brilliance. Each match has been a testament to their dedication throughout this season.
Indeed, and it's worth noting the contributions of other standout players like Dezane, Flex and Lion Claw, who are also named playoffs MVPs.
These points reflect the fierce competition, high level of play we've seen all season long. And it's been an incredible journey, and it's all led up to the CFSSC 2024.
Absolutely, and we can't wait to see how these teams perform at the grand stage. The road to the Summer Championship 2024 is paved with extraordinary talent and unforgettable moments. Let's take a look at the CFS points standings for the teams from both seasons. These points are crucial for qualifying for the CrossFire Stars Summer Championship 2024, as well as for the regional qualifiers.
As you can see, 3BL and LCK top the standings by virtue of their placement over Season 1 and Season 2. And LCK, certainly it was very important for them to win that second season to make sure they get into that second place position. They just managed to overtake Unnights thanks to that. Unnights and GV come 3rd and 4th, of course, by virtue of their performance over those last 2 seasons. As we mentioned, from Encore going to GV, they will retain those points from both of those 2 separate seasons. Anubis and Lazarus did their best without a doubt, but just missed out on playoffs and will by virtue of that miss out on the Summer Championships as well. And TBI and Swamp, of course, will round out the league.
Based on these standings, the following teams are going to be invited to the CFSSC 2024. We, of course, have got 3BL and LCK as our representatives from the West. And the teams advancing to the regional qualifiers and finals, the finals are Unnights and GV Esports. As for the qualifiers, of quite a few teams. You have Anubis, Lazarus, TBI, 36 Demons, SSV Clan, 999, 3BL Academy, and Soltrex to round out the remaining places in that regional qualifier. As we head into the Crossfire Stars Summer Championship 2024, let's introduce our participating teams from the West. Of course, we have 3BL and LCK heading over to Vietnam to represent the West League on the international stage.
Each team has a strong chance, but only the best will make it to the global stage. Let's discuss their strengths and strategies.
There's definitely an opportunity for the likes of LCK and 3BL to do something on the international stage. Historically, maybe it's not the region that really does well on LAN, but LCK have shown some flashes in the past, and I'm looking forward to see if they can do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they had a decent performance last year, and with how 3BL was so competitive all the way through this year as well, there is a decent chance to potentially have a team from the West first of all get out of the groups and maybe even make a deep playoff run too. We can have a little bit of hope at least. And now it's time for our talk show segment. We've invited the two players from the representative teams that are going to be going to the CrossFire Stars Summer Championship 2024, participating on behalf of the CrossFire West League. We've got Flex from LCK and we've got Snake from 3BL.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start with some questions. How do you feel about your team's performance, and how was that little grudge match in that grand final? That was certainly an absolute banger.
Hello guys, thanks for having me. Well, it was great to get our revenge after Season 1. We weren't quite happy after Season 1, and we worked very hard to get the Season 2 victory, and we are very happy that we managed to do it.
How are you planning and preparing and getting ready to now play on LAN? Obviously, you know, things ramp up, they get more serious. How are you feeling now getting ready for a LAN environment?
Well, so basically, some of us already have LAN experience. We have two players that don't really have LAN experience, but I think we can pass it down to them, and we will do our best to analyze the teams from the regions and just do our best in general.
How are you keeping your team motivated at this high level of competition?
I think my teammates always know that, well, at least in our region, we know that we have the best individual performers. We always knew that during the best of 5 against 3BL, we also knew that in the end we will always win no matter what, because it's a best of 5. And we always kept high spirits and high motivation. Even on the second map when we were losing 2-7, we always just kept high motivation just because we knew we were better and that in the end we would win.
And we've also got Snake here with us. So Snake, how do you feel about your team's performance throughout this season? And of course, the qualification for the CrossFire Stars Summer Championship 2024.
We are very happy that we get to play with the best teams and the players in the world. This will give us more experience and confidence when we go back again and play in our region.
Now this one's a bit of a multi-layered question, but how is your team preparing for the Summer Championship that's coming up? What do you think are going to be the biggest challenges that you'll face at the championship? And of course, how are you planning to overcome them?
Yeah, first thing we will do that we will watch our mistakes from the playoffs, and we will try to not do this in Vietnam, because usually top teams wait the mistakes from each other. We will practice more individually than we usually do, because tournament like in Vietnam, it will be important to be individually better than tactically. The biggest challenge will be to play against teams like Paisha or EG, because usually these teams are one step away from our play style, so we'll try to do our best against them. We are planning to be 2-4 at least against these teams, because it's our first LAN and it's achievement to be 2-4 with these teams. So we will take the experience from them and do better in CFS Grand Finals.
Thank you both very much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. And of course, it's very clear that both of the teams are gearing up for what is going to be a tough competition.
Thank you. See you. Have a nice day.
In the end, I would like to thank our coaches who worked really hard for us. Thank you, Stray and Kevin. And of course, thank you all the fans and the haters. Your words really make us motivated and want to play the game. And see you in Vietnam, inshallah.
As we wrap up, remember to mark your calendars for the CrossFire Stars Summer Championship 2024 and the regional qualifiers that will, of course, follow up. The CrossFire Stars Summer Championship is going to start on August 25th, running all the way to the 1st of September out in Vietnam. So best of luck to 3BL and LCK out there. And the regional qualifiers are going to be from September 12th to September 15th. I mentioned the teams a little bit earlier. Best of luck to them as well, hoping for their spots in the next season.
Join us in cheering on your favorite teams as they compete for a chance to shine on the world stage. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.